Hi, this is Teddy, and today I'd like to introduce you to the energetics of food. In traditional Chinese medicine, we look at seasonally and locally of the food around us. In this time of year, in the fall, we want to talk more about root vegetables. And today I have some beautiful samples from the farmer's market. This is butternut squash, sweet potato. There's a red bliss, carrots, and they have their greens. And I actually use the green tops for the dressing or part of the dressing today. Beets, and also parsnips. And these are actually from my garden. This is some rosemary and some thyme. So these are the vegetables and these beautiful leeks that we're going to be using today. So a little bit about the energetics of food. I already have quite a bit of this cut up, ready to use, but I want to talk to you about, you can see a lot of these. This is the butternut squash. There is carrots and parsnips and beets, the sweet potatoes, leeks, and in the recipe I used a couple of weeks ago, we had red onions, but today the leeks look beautiful, so I grabbed them, and some red bliss potatoes. So you can see that these are cut up nice and big chunks. We're moving into fall, and fall we want to cook more of the energy into the food. So we allow the cuts to be a little bit more chunkier and bigger because we want to cook the energy into the food. In the summer, if I was making something like this, I would do more like julienne or very thin strips because you don't want to cook too long. As we cook that food into the energy into the food in the oven, we're going to roast today. We're making roasted vegetables. It helps to nourish your foundation this time of year. And you can see these are all from the local farmers market that I shopped at today. And we want to find what is in our own backyard. A couple of years ago, we didn't talk so much about eating locally and the green footprint. Another good reason, but this is where we live, and it's best to eat closest to home to really nourish your energy in your locality. Also, another thing that I want to talk about, when you prepare and you're cooking in the kitchen, you want to make sure that you're going in with a joyful heart. You don't want to go in the kitchen angry and be chopping the food. You're chopping the anger or you're chopping the frustration. You want to make it a beautiful, peaceful environment and a way to really nourish yourselves and whoever you're cooking for. So let's go ahead and get started. We want to really look at yin and yang, and these root vegetables are a really nice example of being rooted and grounded as we move into the cooler months. So the butternut squash goes in. I just kind of did what I felt looked good. Pieces are nice and big. We have the red bliss potatoes going in. Also, let's go ahead and do the sweet potatoes, the beets, and the carrots and the parsnips, and then leeks, and I love the leeks. The red onions are wonderful too, but like I said, these look really wonderful at the market today, so I grabbed them. So we have them all in the bowl. Some of the dressing that you can use, a lot of times this recipe will call for garlic, but today I made the tops of those carrots I made into a little pesto. So I blanched the tops of the carrots and then chopped them up with garlic, and I added a little lemon zest and lemon juice and a little bit of olive oil. So that's another alternative that you could do rather than just plain garlic. But plain garlic is wonderful, so you want to grab that and put that in. Cumin is a very warming spice, so that goes in. That's about a teaspoon. Ground salt and pepper. Again, what is good for you, and depending, you can do it to taste later at the table. This is some thyme that was from the garden, so you can kind of just mix that in, about a teaspoon or so. And of course the wonderful rosemary, which smells so wonderful as it's roasting in the oven. So you can kind of put that in. I like a little bit more, depends on your taste. You could add some hot spices to this if you wanted to, hot peppers or whatever. I'm leaving it a little bit blander. I also did a combination of blood orange olive oil and regular olive oil today for this recipe. So about a quarter cup or so, you can go ahead and pour that in, and you can start mixing. So as you're mixing, and you can kind of see all these wonderful vegetables. You really want to coat it well as you're doing this. And get everything coated with that olive oil. And if you find that it's a little dry, and I may put a little bit more in, you could add a little bit more olive oil. So you're just stirring and getting that well coated. So, and I have the oven preheating at 400 degrees. When you put this in the pan, you would add, you can do it on a flat, almost like a cookie sheet. I have a little different kind of pan that I'm using today that I happen to like. About halfway through, about 20 minutes, you'll go back in and stir it again and kind of coat and make sure that you are getting everything evenly cooked and roasted, because you want to roast that energy in. So we're getting there. So keep it flowing here. So I'm going to kind of just show you what this looks like. It smells so good. So we have this wonderful mixture of root vegetables straight from the farm market. Wonderful energy, so fresh, and the colors are beautiful here. You can grab a baking dish. And you can go ahead and slowly get that all and make sure it's nice and mixed. And I may even just drizzle a little bit more olive oil over when I get everything in. So you don't want it too deep, depending on. So I may put this in another dish later. I want to keep it so it's not too thick and it roasts nicely. You can see that. And then I'm going to just drizzle a little bit more of that wonderful blood orange olive oil. And regular olive oil tastes wonderful too. This smells delicious. And then I'm going to go ahead and pop this in the oven. And I just so happen to have a dish already in there, and you can see all this beautiful cooked rooted vegetables. And let's go ahead and get a plate, and maybe even a helper to try this out. Now, again, it's very warm, so let's go ahead and stir this a little bit more. And you can see the so you can see this better as I stir it here. So it's really all the juices of all the different vegetables and seasonings are just baked in, so you'll have all that wonderful rooted energy. This is a nice dish to do by itself. Also, you can add it with a meat if you like. So I'm just going to kind of set it out here. And let it cool for a minute, and you can see that. And look at all those beautiful fall colors. I'm gonna get another plate. And this takes not too long to prepare, maybe about 20 minutes to cut all the vegetables, peel, and wash them well because they were in the ground. And then I'm gonna go ahead and call over a helper here to help me with this tasting. So come on over. And I'm gonna go ahead and...
This is the best part of the video.
So, bon appetit. I wish you health and happiness.
Wonderful.